The member from Barrie.
Speaker, question is to the Premier. I didn't know is literally becoming a cliche coined by the McGuinty Wynne Liberals. The Liberals didn't know how much the gas plant cancellations would cost taxpayers. The Liberals didn't know about thousands and thousands of files received and document dump after document.
Order, please. Thank you. Member from Barrie.
I guess I hit a nerve, Mr. Speaker. And apparently the Liberals didn't know that staffers were instructed to use Gmail accounts and delete email records free from public scrutiny. Speaker, there are only a few explanations for not knowing. Ignorance, incompetence, or moral bankruptcy. Premier, which one is it, or is it all the above?
All the above. Here, here.
Government House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, it is this Premier that, upon assuming office, asked the Auditor General to look into the Oakville situation. It is this Premier, Mr. Speaker, who proposed the Select Committee of the Legislature to look into the gas plant situation, which was rejected by the opposition. But she still went ahead and talked about modifying, enlarging the role of the committee, which was agreed to by the committee. It was this Premier who appeared in front of the committee. It's been under this Premier's watch that 130,000 documents have come forward. Yes, Mr. Speaker, there is material in the Information and Privacy Commissioner's report which needs to be responded to, and this Premier has given me direction as Minister of Government Services that we work with her to see that the current rules are strengthened, Mr. Speaker, so that the actions that she outlined never happen again. Mr. Speaker, this Premier has shown leadership in this regard in making sure that there is transparency when it comes to the gas plant issue, which I remind the member again, his colleagues were out campaigning for in the most recent election.
Thank you. Supplementary.
Right. Thank you, Speaker. I mean, the ridiculousness of this doesn't even stop. I mean, it's easy to open up the process. It's easy to show leadership after you've destroyed all the evidence that comes before it. Unfortunately, incompetence and malfeasance are not mutually exclusive, Speaker. In fact, the Liberals have demonstrated the two are actually complementary to one another. Last week marked the first time ever that an Ontario government has been investigated for two separate scandals by the OPP. The Ontario's Information and Privacy Commissioner concluded record laws were in fact broken. The OPP's elite anti-racket squad have launched a probe into the latest scandal within a scandal, the destruction of information on the public record, and it seems that just about everyone's ethics barometer is going off the scale except for the McGuinty-Wynne-Horvath government.
Question.
Premier, the people of Ontario kind of got stuck with you, really. Will you let Ontarians decide if the Liberals are too incompetent or too corrupt to lead Ontario?
Thank you. Government House Leader.
Been 130,000 pages of documents that have been put forward to the committee. But let's go back to first principles, Mr. Speaker. In the last election, Mr. Speaker, there was not one party that promised to cancel that gas plant, Mr. Speaker. There were three parties that promised to cancel that gas plant. It was the leader of that member's party who went on YouTube and said that if he was elected Premier, it would be done, done, done. It was the leader of that member's party who went before committee, Mr. Speaker, and 28 times refused to talk about the costing and the research that had been undertaken by his party. Mr. Speaker, it was the leader of his party who has been encouraging candidates to not appear in front of the committee to talk about their role in the gas plant cancellation. Mr. Speaker, I'm very proud of our Premier who has been forthcoming in terms of the action she has taken and appearing in front of committee. It'd be nice to see the same from that party across the way.
Question. The member from Timiskaming.